You're hired for the skill set that you're bringing in, right? And
Hmm.
that's what's going to make the difference in the company. And there's so little jobs for so many people looking. I'm telling you that the market is not offering that. We're not going, this is not a realistic profile.
Hello, everyone. Welcome to the ChinUp Career Podcast. My name is Nidal Khaznadar, founder of ChinUp. This podcast is all about sharing the best practices, strategies, and expert insights to help professionals like you land their dream jobs and grow their careers. Today, I'm excited to welcome a special guest, Katia Mahiddine, talent acquisition expert and career coach with ChinUp. Hello, Katia. Thanks for joining us today.
Hey, Nidal, thanks for having me.
Absolutely. So, today we'll explore the top strategies for landing dream jobs. And we're talking to an expert recruiter here. So, we're going to get a lot of tips, a lot of practical advice as well. So, let's dive in. Katya, can you share the story of how you personally landed your major roles and what you learned from that experience?
Yes, that gets me back to great memories, actually. I remember those days when I was, a young graduate. I just came out of school, had my degree in English literature very proudly. But then I really did not know what to do with it because it's not a trade. It's lots of great skills, but I just did not know what to do with it. I did not know. I knew I did not want to teach, but I really did not know what I could do. So I started with assisting because I was multilingual, so I was able to join an industry that was very foreign to me, the oil and gas. I tried something else in another industry that was more in construction. I did multiple things to kind of try to understand what I was good at. Basically, I really was curious to see what I could transform those, analytical skills into. And so, after trying multiple things, I still wasn't able to figure out what it was that I could do. And I was taking like small things like an event host at some place, which ended up getting me into recruiting. The people who got that, who organized that event, liked my work, liked my commitment to making, to making the event good, and going above and beyond. And they offered me a full-time job within the recruiting industry as an assistant initially, and I grew up into becoming a recruiter with them. So that was something that I look back very dearly, and I
Mhm.
take away from it as, not be, let's not be afraid of trying things, especially when you get out and you have no idea. Let's go there, try things.
Right.
The other
And networking as well. How important networking it is,
It is
right?
exactly that's right, Nidal. Thanks for raising that. Exactly. I mean, the fact that you're trying multiple things also offers you the opportunity to meet different people and for them to get to know you. And so that just with that networking of like somebody referred me to them to for that short event, and
Mhm.
then they reconnected with me later on when they had a permanent job to offer me. So definitely networking is a big one here as well. Um, and then the other major job that I got is again within the recruiting space. My most recent job in the media space. That was a job that I transitioned from medical to the media space, and it was pretty big one, great large organization, very proud of that time there with Techno, very committed to journalism, which was very new to me, but I was able to get it through also networking with agencies, recruiting agencies who I've worked with, and who reached back out to me saying, "Hey, there's this short contract. Would you take it?" And I'm like, "Yep, let's try it." And so it was a really awesome opportunity to kind of step backwards, even though I really was not looking for a short time. I really wanted that permanent position. I really thought of it as a let's try and make every effort to get hired permanently, which worked out.
Mhm.
And I really made every effort for it. Really worked as if I were already a permanent employee, and my efforts were seen. So really, I think it's that idea of like nothing is too small,
Mm-hmm.
that really got me there, I think. Which also I still embrace fully to this day, really, because you never know where things can actually work. So
Exactly.
it's really, really interesting to take everything seriously.
Right, right. And that's very important for people who are looking for opportunities, maybe they have no jobs and they're looking for jobs. Sometimes they say, I don't want to start small because I'm gonna stay small. I'm gonna continue the same role. But that's not the case, because even if you start small, you can grow in the company that
Yes,
you are in.
exactly. And I would add something also is really thinking about it from a taking one step backwards to jump
Mm,
further. It's
mm-hmm.
more in that mindset that I'm talking about. So it's really assessing the situation and seeing what's the result if I take
Right.
this. It seems small, but the potential is big. So it's really thinking about it from that perspective. The other thing is like the scale of small depends. Like sometimes you're like, I've been a director forever, and I don't want to get back into not being a director.
Mm-hmm.
You're like, okay, I want to keep my director role, but maybe I can scale down the company size, and take something smaller, like a smaller company, but keep my responsibilities higher. So it's really
Got
about
it.
like that type of reassessing, but always thinking about it as a let's take it just a step back, one step back to jump further, to make it
Got it.
further.
Got it. I remember um, one time in my career, I was the head of HR in a small organization. Then I had the chance to apply for a managerial position, not head of department, but in a way bigger institution. So
Hmm.
I took this step back and
Right.
I accepted the managerial position, although I used to be the head of department with the same maybe payment, the same pay, but it was a huge experience, right? And now putting this company, this organization, and institution on my resume made a big difference, right?
Yeah.
So
Yeah. Exactly.
that's exactly what you mentioned, Katja. Now,
Mhm.
what was one of now all of our careers are full of challenges, right? So what was
Yeah.
one of the hardest challenge you faced, Katya, in your career, and how did you overcome that challenge?
Um, what jumps into my mind is really the industry, the
Mm,
industries of joint. They've all been pretty challenging to join because they're pretty niche. And I did not have much experience or any experience in them when I joined the companies when I was hired. And so that's always been a big challenge, because you want to establish credibility off the gate, like right off the gate when you get in and start working with your partners and
mhm.
colleagues and hierarchy. So really getting to go from one industry to another totally new, has been one of the biggest challenges that I've had, and multiple times. But
Yeah.
I built resilience, because I've had it so many times. And I think, it starts with not being afraid of saying, well, I'm green. Yes, I'm new. It's okay. I'm embracing the green banner. That's fine.
Yeah.
But I bring in something you don't have, like I can help with something else that that I can help you, because at the end of the day, when you're hired for the skill set that you're bringing in, right? And
Mhm.
that's what's gonna make the difference in the company, and the business. And so really embracing that, and being, proud of showing what you can do and wanting to help and showing the interest in learning. um,
Mhm.
it has been the big way for me to overcome that challenge, building relationships, showing what I can help with, but also showing that I'm eagerly interested in learning and that I want to learn fast.
Got it.
So really absorbing any piece of information that I can get my hand on, everything I could learn on the industry. I would take time off work hours, obviously, to just absorb everything I could about the industry. I would make it really my mission in the beginning. There's lots of jargons like words and expressions and vocabulary really for those industries when you move into
Right.
them and you're like, this is a universe.
Right.
Like it's very overwhelming sometimes. So you really want to take the time to just absorb, embrace, learn about them, ask people to help, build allyship, right? Like understanding who are the people who can help you out. There are going to be individuals you you want to prove to, and you're not necessarily who you will ask for. So I'd say really pick who you're going to ask for help. But overall, really, the that shift, which
Hmm.
I don't know, and you know that, Nidal, lots of people are trying to shift industries with everything changing around
Right.
in the market.
Absolutely.
So I'd say not impossible whatsoever. Hard it can be, but not impossible whatsoever. And just keep your curiosity active and keep, that confidence in your own add value. That's really it's all around that value add at that
Got
core.
it. Got it. And I agree with you, Katya, especially these days, people are looking for ways to pivot from industry to another industry. As you witness, international development is
Right.
now like shrinking, and people from
Mhm.
international development are trying to find jobs in the kind of private sector. And one of our clients, she was looking for contracts management, and she was in
Mhm.
international development. You were part of her success as a career
Right.
coach as well.
Mhm.
She used to be in the international development as a contracts manager. Now
Mhm.
she's shifting to a contracts manager, but in the construction field.
Right.
Imagine, right? It's a
Yeah.
totally different
Industry.
industry for her.
Right.
It's the same, maybe the same title,
Right.
contracts manager, but a
Mhm.
different industry. And I
Mhm.
know that she's studying what construction is, what the
Yes.
terms and everything,
Yeah.
learning. It's
Yeah.
it's it's a tough experience, but it's a very rewarding experience
Very
as
rewarding.
well. But yeah, I'm sure that it is hard, but it's doable, and that would give people
Mhm.
a kind of uh, good, let's say, it's good on their resume that they have experience with different industries. Now,
To-
Katya, you are a recruiter. You are a talent acquisition expert. You've been in recruiting for a while, right?
Mhm.
How should job seekers position themselves to stand out in today's competitive market?
Yeah, that's a really good question because it's really tough and there are so many people. I always say that it's the toughest thing is to interview because you never know who you're competing against. In sports, you know who you're competing against. You know the teams,
Right.
their pluses, their minuses, but you have no clue who you're competing against when you interview. So it's really kind of a game where you're you against yourself, and um, and it's always that tricky thing of like, how do I stand out when I have no clue who to stand out against? So I'd say the first thing is always authenticity.
Mm.
There's only you who is you,
Mhm.
nobody else. All right. There's only one version of me, and one version of Nidal. Um, so really the authenticity is probably your gem, right? You want to
Mm.
protect that. So you want to bring it on in your interview and in your resume and every touch in your career. I'd say, making sure that your add value. Your value add is really critical for you to know inside out. What is it that I can do that others cannot, or that I just can do? Because again, you don't know who you're competing against. So it's really about like making sure that you know what you're capable of and highlight that at every moment you can. Um, I think there's also, you know, going back to authenticity, we talk a lot about networking. We talk a lot about like being out there. Not everybody is a good orator. Not everybody is a good communicator. Not everybody has that comfort level of like being around. So really, I recommend for people to know who they are and what they're best at, and try to do that because still networking is going to help you, but try to do it your way. Try to do it in the most comfortable way that you can. And so when you're in your comfort zone, then you can shine better, right? It's always that. It's always how you can get the best of you out. So I'd say, also being very creative. That's my
Mhm.
my my last piece of advice here. Um, my my penultimate. I have another one. Um, Creativity is very key today because it's so tricky. And there's so little jobs for so many people looking that have to be creative. Like, what are my transferable skills? And what else can I do? What other options do I have in front of me?
Mm.
So really, really playing with that, because that's what could get you something that you would never have thought of. And that's how it opens some of the doors. The last one I give is that going back to authenticity and the uniqueness of who you are. Um, it's not a one size fits all when it comes to career. It depends on your situation, the type of experience, your location, what it's a lot of things. So take the advice, welcome
Mm.
every advice, but then process it and see how to fit it into your situation, your unique situation and condition. So, and that's for me. Yeah, these are probably the most critical ones I can think of.
Got it. And I remember that we talked about a high number of hires you have recruited in your throughout your career as a recruiter. Katya, what are the qualities that you found best hires to have in common?
The most common ones were concision in their communication
Mm,
by far. They're
wow.
extremely concise in the way they address questions, which means they go straight to the point. They don't turn around the bush,
Mm,
but they provide a very complete answer. And I feel like it's a very good indicator of how analytical the individual is, and how they can just summarize, what they've learned and address a specific question in the right way, without rambling, without going on
mm,
for hours. I think that one of the
wow.
most common things of the best hires that
Yeah, being specific,
very
they know
specific.
their chain of thoughts and their
Exactly.
it shows they are prepared even for these. Okay, asking
Exactly.
right questions and right
Yeah,
time. Okay,
absolutely.
wow,
Absolutely.
that's very important to bring to our clients.
Yes.
Yeah. Um, Now, as a recruiter, Katya, what are some of the challenges recruiters have, but behind the scenes
Behind the
that
scenes.
most people don't know?
Hey, that's right. Yes. No, and that's right. That's very true. It's a great question. I think, we don't realize that the misalignment between recruiters and hiring managers happen all the time. It's so true.
Yeah,
We're not always aligned with what the hiring manager is saying.
exactly.
And so the challenge is like to bring us to alignment, like understanding you're telling me this is what you want, but I'm telling you that the market is not offering that. Like we're not going, this is not a realistic profile. And we're considering the whole thing, like the skills, the experience, the years of
Hmm.
experience, the location, and then the compensation sometimes. So that's one of the things that really happen in the background. We don't always agree on the hires themselves. But we don't hire. That's the other thing that people tend to forget. We're not the ones hiring. The hiring manager hires. We help them in that process of making the right decision with our consulting, approach, and you know, some of sharing that experience that we've built throughout the years. I embrace the kind of the advisor recruiter.
Hmm.
approach, of really trying to better to help my hiring managers or my clients understand what they really want, because sometimes they don't even know what to begin with, at the beginning of the process, and that makes us waste a lot of time,
Hmm.
hiring the right people. Because midway, like halfway in the process, you're like, actually, no, that's not what I
Yeah,
needed. That's not what we
I
needed.
know.
Yeah,
Or
and I'm like,
or you know something? Let's. This is not the job description I want. I wanted. Let's
right, but
change it.
that's
We can change it. We
use,
already posted. We have
but
we
and you
we
should have
interviewed people.
thought about it exactly. It's like been 3 months. So it's those little things that can be a little tricky, and sometimes they do delay the process of making the decision. And that's also why lots of people, they don't hear back for months when they apply. Is sometimes that like just like going through the resumes and saying, okay, this is the profile I want. No, this is not what I want. Wait a minute, I'll get back to you. And then you're like running behind those hiring managers and like, I'm still waiting for your feedback. It's been two
Hey,
weeks.
I'm here.
Hello,
Hello.
are you hiring or not? Like, so it's that kind of situation that can be really tricky in the background, in the
I
backstage.
I know, I know. Um, so last question here, Katya. I really enjoy our conversation. What advice do you have for professionals who want to move into leadership roles? I know you, like most of your work with your with the last employer was hiring for high positions, senior position, leadership positions. Now, again, what advice can you share with us if we're looking for leadership roles?
I'd say the biggest challenge is always, you know, you want to move up into management, but you've never done management, so you're never given
Mm-hmm.
a chance. You're always stuck in there, like,
Yes.
yeah, she's never been a manager, he's never managed people,
Yeah.
never
People
been a
management,
title,
right?
right? So you're coming back into that vicious circle, like, give me a chance and then I'll build that. It's always that conversation we're ending up. I've never been given the opportunity. We just never got so it's always creating that opportunity for yourself.
Hmm.
And there are different ways.
Tell me more. I love
Yeah,
this.
right. So you create your stuff. You're like, how can I create my own experience, right? And so if you're inside the company, you're already in the company and
Right.
you want to grow within, you can take on responsibility, ask for the responsibility, because
Hmm.
managing people is not always fun for people to do. Many don't like it and they still have to do it. And so you can offer a hint, say,
Hmm.
can I help you with a few directions? Like, you're not taking the title, but you're asking the responsibility. And so that way you can add that to your resume, like
Hmm.
helping oversee X number
Right.
of people or one person. Like it's just about like creating opportunities. So that could be inside. It could be like your peers. It could be another team,
Hmm.
another within another department, or like in a department, the same department, but just another team. Try to think again creatively of like, how can I create my own experience of managing people? Like, okay, I'm not gonna be paid for it. It's not gonna be great, but at least I will gain it. Um, and it would be very surprising to see how some of us would not want it
Mm.
even. Like, like maybe I don't want to manage people. But also with big responsibilities, it will have to come, with that. The other thing is you can manage functions.
Mhm.
So that's the other thing.
Great.
It's like there are two options. Like there are managing people and then American managing functions. Invite that opportunity. Sometimes your managers, your directors may not want, or may not have, not want, think about it, or
Mhm.
think about you as a potential candidate
Great.
for it. So you want to tell them, you know what, I could do this. I could just do it. I could just take it on. Knowing that they will not pay you more, it's fine. They will not, I don't think there will be lots of, back and forth.
Right.
But at least it will give you that opportunity to touch upon it. If it's not inside your organization, it could be outside your organization. funny how sports leadership can help on your resume if you're like, I
Yes.
am coaching my son's football team, or I am tutoring a group of scout girls, or
Mm,
like really think of again creatively about like what are management skills that I can do elsewhere. um, it does not have to be set in stone, this position, this title, and nobody wants to give me that title and put it in there. Like
absolutely.
trying to create those opportunities to gain that experience.
And you reminded me with one of um, very success stories with our clients who wanted to land a leadership position, but he did not have the leadership experience. And then we agreed on because he was part of Toastmasters
Mm,
club, and he said, uh, I can lead this club. They asked me to lead this club. What do you think? I said, this is the perfect opportunity.
that's right.
And he said, okay, to the leadership. So he became the leader of this club for a couple of
Perfect.
months. And then his company knew about that. And they said, are you leading this club? He
Hmm.
said, yes. Are you leading people? He said, yes. Are you leading all the process and functions? He said, yes. They said, now we're going to offer you a leadership position
Promote.
in the same
Yeah.
company.
Wow.
Imagine
See?
it was
Yeah.
like a big success.
There we
He
go.
was not like practicing leadership in
Right.
a for-profit private
Mm.
institution or company.
Yeah.
It was a nonprofit, but it was a leadership role, and
Right.
that confirms exactly what you
Hmm.
talked about, Katia.
Yeah.
That's amazing. Katia, thank you so much for sharing
Oh, my
your
pleasure.
insights with us today. I really appreciate it, and it was a great conversation.
Thank you, Nidal. Thanks for having me. Really enjoyed it as well.
Absolutely. Have a wonderful day. Talk to you
You
soon.
too. Talk soon.
Bye.
Bye.